What is up, my boners? This is MrITryHard here, the nastiest commentator in all of motherfucking YouTube. How you guys been doing? I'm into motherfucking fantastic, and today we have a gameplay of Search and Destroy on Arcade, gameplay brought to you courtesy of a man named Marksman, who is one of the best Search and Destroy players that I know. That's why I try to post one of his gameplays at least once a week, because I'm not a really good Search and Destroy player. I'm like way too ADHD for that kind of stuff. It's kind of I don't know. I'm guessing it's kind of a smart man's game, which I'm kind of like telling you guys that I'm not smart, but that's not the case. Anyways, besides the point. He's good, and I like to post his gameplay. Of course, link to his channel will be down below if you guys want to go check him out. I know people like to watch Search and Destroy, so I try to include that into my channel to bring you guys the best content ever, because you guys are always there to hit that jizz in my motherfucking pants button. You know that's going to be on a shirt someday, and I'm going to buy the fuck out of that thing, and I'm going to wear it. It's going to be awesome. Wear it proud. Alright, so we have a question today, which is kind of like nasty slash serious, right? And I don't know why I picked this question. I was browsing through my messages and comments on my videos, and I fell across this, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's talk about this. This question is brought to us by a man named Casual Gamer, and this guy says, topic: how do you keep a relationship from going dull? Now, what he means is like complacency in relationships where two people kind of grow apart, right? And this can happen no matter how old or young you are. You know, you could be 15 and be going out with a chick and, you know, get bored of her. Or you could be fucking 80 years old and be going out with like the same lady, be married to her, have children, have grandchildren, and, you know, grow tired of them after 25 years because you guys didn't work to get that, like, keep that fire going. Because this can happen to any one of us, right? Now, I think there's a responsibility that both parties should be, you know, aware of. If one person works to keep this going, you know, for 5, 10, 20 years, who knows how long, and the other person just kind of goes with the flow and just doesn't even do their own part, well, what's going to happen is, you know, the guy with, or the girl for that matter, who's working hard might get annoyed and might get pissed off. I mean, I know for a fact, at least for me, if I'm the one doing all the efforts in the relationship, shit, like, I just start to get pissed off, right? I'm gonna get angry. You know, why am I the only one doing this? If I'm always the one trying to like revive the fire, get that flame going, then I don't know. It's not a 50-50 relationship, right? I believe that relationships are 50-50. I think everybody should live that way. I think everybody should do their own part. And if you're not doing your own part, if you're not pulling your own weight, then I think there's a big problem in your relationship. And I think that's the way I feel. Now, for keeping it, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? Keeping the fire going. I'm gonna use that again. I don't know why, but I just think it works well. There are certain things that you need to know. You know, sometimes people get busy and they have different schedules. Like for instance, you know, I know a couple who, one guy works during the day and then his girlfriend works during the night. You know, they barely see each other, but they keep a healthy relationship because they make time for one another, right? They allow like a 1 or 2 hour period, at least like every day, where it's like them time, right? They can do whatever they want, whether it be just watching a movie, just chilling, playing a stupid board game, chatting it up, or who knows, you know, they could be fucking doing like doggy style porn on top of their rooftop for all I know. You know, they allow that time. I think that's a really, really big key to a success in a relationship. Now, of course, for the guy, he needs to take that first step in, I think, the sexual department. Now, that's just my opinion. Some girls are very forthcoming, but I think they're few and far between, right? Most ladies, I think, prefer for the guy to take the first steps in the whole sexual side of the relationship, I guess I want to say. And I think for us guys, we need to find creative ways of, you know, getting our girls going, right? Because after 5 or 10 or 20 years of, you know, marriage, dating, or whatever it may be, stuff like tends to get redundant, right? I mean, you know, if earlier, you know, it worked if you kissed her neck and, you know, nibbled on her ear, you know, 5 years later, that kissing on the neck and nibble on the ear type maneuver might not work anymore, right? She may be like, ah, here we go again, this horny motherfucker wants to fuck, right? So, you know, try something else, try something new, try to light that fire, man. You know, grab a weekend, you know, plan things out. Go on a weekend, bring her out to like a fucking hotel, like a nice sexy hotel, get a good room where there's a nice bath with like fucking mirrors on the wall and shit. That'll get her worked up. I think alcohol is a big key too, by the way. This is weird, but for everybody who's over the age of 18 in Canada, 21 in the States and everywhere else, I'm not even sure about the laws anywhere in Europe or whatever, but if you're of legal drinking age, I think alcohol helps. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I get like drunk or tipsy, I get horny, right? And I think this works for like most ladies too. So yeah, having a bottle of wine or just a few beers, you know, once every, you know, other day with your girl can like light that fire up every now and again. Cause I've been a part of redundant relationships before, and there is nothing worse, because then what happens is, you know, you start looking elsewhere, and you don't want that happening, right? Because when that happens, then shit goes to hell, and you look like an asshole, when in fact, it was just like a cry for help for you, because you're like, seriously, let's go. Because the worst thing of a redundant relationship is redundant sex. I think, because sex is like, I think covers like 90% of a relationship. If sex goes bad, like gets bad and boring and just redundant, then I think that's the first sign to a bad relationship. I think I've said this before in one of my videos, but it's the most important thing that you can keep healthy. You know, you can argue every night and be pissed off at her and want to choke her to death and fucking, you're not going to fucking really choke her to death, but you guys know the feeling of rage and anger and you're pissed off at her. But if the sex is awesome, you're going to stay there. That's the way it is. You're still going to be at least moderately happy. But if, you know, there's nothing really going on and the sex isn't there, dude, you're gonna be terrible. You're gonna feel like shit. Same goes for ladies. If they're not fulfilled sexually, it's not gonna work. So guys, work on your sex games. Find some tricks. Buy some roses, rose petals. You know, draw a bath. Put like bubbles in that shit. I don't care. Get a stripper pole. Dance, man. Dance, motherfucker. Get a Tarzan fucking thing, you know. Fucking get a rope tied on top of your fucking, I don't know, man. Do some crazy fucked up shit. It works. Hope you guys enjoy. Leave me some more topics in the comment section below. Bye. Bye and bye. MrITryHard be playing that Tarzan, jumping onto Jane, and then fucking her doggy style. Bye bye.